Alright, so this is going to be a quick video just explaining contacts. Normally open, normally closed contacts. This could be a rib relay. This could be any number of relays. Just kind of bear with me on this. I know this isn't the best. I'm going to be flipping this page back and forth, but just to illustrate the point and help with any questions about it. So this little diagram right here is something that if you've ever looked at like a rib U1C relay that you've seen before with a normally closed contact and a normally open contact, right there being normally open and right there being normally closed, and in the middle you got a common. So when they say common right there, they're not talking about like a common neutral or anything like that. What they're just referring to is that is the common point between the normally closed contact and the normally open contact. So right here, so the common is the common between these two, and then you have the individual switch legs coming off of those respective contacts. You got the normally closed and the normally open. So typically when you're looking at a diagram like this, whenever it denotes whether it's normally open or normally closed, what they're talking about is when that coil is in a de-energized state. So just as it sits with no power going to it, with the power turned off, that is what those contacts are going to be. So sometimes you'll have like a normally open held closed contact because the coil is normally energized it's just always energized. That might be for like a safety circuit or something, so that if the coil gets de-energized, then it opens the contact. Yeah, so getting back to that point, when you see this, like normally closed or normally open, it's referring to when that contactor is actually de-energized and there's no power going to the coil. So, that being said, these are also what's referred to as dry contacts. So, what you would do if you wanted to, like, let's say, turn a light on or off, you would actually have to wet the contact, the common, I should say, with 120 volts AC, right? Boom, right there. You'd have to hook 120 volts AC to the common. And what that does is that allows power to go right down here, and that wets the normally open contact, one side of the normally open contact, and then it also wets the other side of the normally closed contact. But because that's normally closed, you're going to have power all the way to here. So if this was like a rib relay and you'd have a blue wire that is denoted as your normally closed, you would want to cap that off, because if you just leave it dangling there with the end exposed, it's probably going to short out against something. So once again, getting back to our switch, if you apply 120 volts right here, you wet this normally open contact, right? So what happens with these is when you apply voltage to the coil, and it could be, let's say it's a 24 volt coil, when you apply voltage to these, it causes the contacts to change state. So what happens is normally closed is now open, and I'm going to draw this just a little bit better. Common, and so it causes those contacts to change state so that you get your normally closed contact, which is now held open, and then you have your normally open contact, which is now held closed. Alright, so this is the drawing on the bottom, right down there. So now you have power that comes in from your wetted common contact it wets the contact on the normally open contact right there, and now because the coil is energized, it changes the state. The normally closed is now open, and the normally open is now closed, and that allows power to flow right down through this conductor, and then the other end of that conductor would go to a light, and it would turn a light on. And I tried denoting too, so just for continuity between these two drawings. So you got normally open, held closed, and then you got normally closed, held open. So I know it's not the best drawing, but it's something that seems to trip a lot of people up, and it's really easy to confuse those, especially when you're troubleshooting and you have a lot of different contacts that you're looking at. So it's just one of those things, just to try to clear that up a little bit. So I hope that helps you. Thanks.